Elon Musk, Part 1, Childhood in South Africa, Origins of Resilience. Hey, welcome to the first part of our epic journey through Elon Musk by Walter Isaacson. Before Elon Musk launched rockets or reinvented electric cars, he was a quiet, curious boy growing up in apartheid-era South Africa. Born in 1971 in Pretoria, Elon was the eldest of 3 children in a family full of contradictions. His mother, May Musk, was a Canadian-born model and dietitian, warm, energetic, and fiercely independent. His father, Errol Musk, was a brilliant yet deeply complicated man, whose intelligence was often overshadowed by controlling, unpredictable behavior. Elon's early life was marked by emotional isolation. He was a bookworm, obsessed with science fiction and technology. While other kids played outside, Elon read encyclopedias for fun. He wasn't just smart, he was intensely focused. His classmates didn't know what to make of him. Teachers noticed his intellect, but peers often saw him as strange or aloof. And it didn't help that Elon was regularly bullied, not just teased, but beaten to the point of hospitalization. At one point, he was thrown down a flight of stairs and left with a broken nose. The trauma wasn't just physical. Elon learned early on that the world could be harsh and that resilience wasn't optional. It was survival. At home, things weren't much better. His parents divorced when he was 9, and Elon chose to live with his father, a decision he would later regret. Errol was emotionally abusive and domineering. Elon rarely speaks about this period, but those close to him say it left deep scars. Still, Musk never played the victim. Instead, he internalized the pain and used it as fuel. He learned to detach from emotion, to rely on logic, and to retreat into the world of ideas. By the age of 12, Elon had already taught himself computer programming and sold a video game called Blastar for $500. That small success hinted at what was to come, an ability to teach himself complex subjects, to work obsessively, and to build things that others couldn't imagine. He wasn't just dreaming, he was already acting. Even then, he had a vision. Elon believed the future would be shaped by a few key forces: the internet, sustainable energy, and space exploration. These ideas weren't yet mainstream, but for Elon, they were obvious. He saw the world not as it was, but as it could be, and he wanted to help build that future. Pretoria might have seemed like an unlikely launchpad for a global visionary, but it's where Musk's mindset was forged. The combination of emotional hardship, intellectual isolation, and a relentless drive to escape, not just his home, but the limits of the present, became the foundation for everything he would later do. His childhood didn't just build resilience, it created a filter. Elon learned to block out noise, ignore doubt, and push past pain. Whether that made him emotionally distant or laser-focused is up for debate, but it undoubtedly shaped the man who would try to change the world. Elon Musk, Part 2, Moving to America. First steps toward a dream. In Elon Musk's mind, South Africa was never the final destination. From an early age, he dreamed of moving to the United States, not for comfort, but for opportunity. He called it the land where great things are possible, and he meant it. But getting there wasn't simple. At 17, Elon saw his way out, through Canada. Thanks to his Canadian-born mother, he was able to obtain citizenship and move there alone in 1989. With just a backpack and a few $100s, he arrived in a country where he knew no one. The first summer, he worked odd jobs, cleaning boilers, shoveling grain, and even cutting logs in the wilderness. It was physical, dirty, exhausting work. But Elon didn't complain. He was finally moving towards something bigger. He enrolled at Queen's University in Ontario, where he met Justine Wilson, his first serious romantic partner, and later the mother of his children. Elon wasn't the typical college student. He didn't party much. He was intense, always thinking about the future, particularly space, energy, and artificial intelligence. He devoured books, questioned everything, and took every challenge personally. One friend described him as a man in a hurry. After 2 years, he transferred to the University of Pennsylvania. There, he earned 2 degrees in physics and economics. But more importantly, he refined his sense of mission. He wasn't interested in a stable career. He wanted to work on things that mattered. He would later say that he chose physics because it teaches you how to understand the most fundamental truths, the raw code behind reality. In college, Elon and his roommate rented a house and turned it into a nightclub to help pay the rent. It was a strange mix. The future space entrepreneur playing party host to hundreds of students. But behind the scenes, Elon remained laser-focused. At night, while the music played downstairs, he'd sit upstairs, coding or reading. By the time he graduated in the mid-1990s, Elon had already set his sights on Silicon Valley. He briefly began a PhD program at Stanford, but dropped out after just 2 days. The internet boom was happening, and he didn't want to miss it. He believed the internet would become one of the most transformative forces in human history, and he wanted to be part of that revolution, not in a lab, but in the arena. This period wasn't just about education. It was the testing ground for Elon's mindset. Move fast, think big, take risks. He wasn't trying to fit in. He was actively searching for ways to break through. He believed that history favored the bold, and he was preparing to bet everything on that belief. From South Africa to Canada to the US, Elon's journey wasn't smooth or easy, but it was intentional. Every step brought him closer to the future he imagined. The boy who once escaped into science fiction novels was now ready to build one of his own. Elon Musk, Part 3. Zip 2. First success and startup lessons. By 1995, Elon Musk was finally where he wanted to be. In Silicon Valley, surrounded by the buzz of the internet revolution. With his younger brother Kimball, he co-founded a startup called Zip 2. The idea was simple but ahead of its time. Create an online directory for newspapers, combining business listings with maps and navigation. In an era when most people still used paper maps and dial-up modems, this was a bold move. Elon coded Zip 2 himself in the beginning, sleeping under his desk and showering at the local YMCA. Money was tight. They couldn't afford an apartment, so they lived in the office. Investors were skeptical. Elon was just a 24-year-old immigrant with no business experience. But what he lacked in polish, he made up for in vision and raw intensity. Zip 2 started to gain traction after striking deals with major newspapers, like the New York Times and the Chicago Tribune. Musk worked relentlessly, often clashing with his co-founders and investors. He had a clear vision of the future, and he wasn't afraid to push people, sometimes too hard, to get there. Eventually, the board decided to bring in a more experienced CEO to replace Elon. It was a painful moment. He felt pushed out of his own company. But he stayed involved, and in 1999, Compaq acquired Zip 2 for nearly $300 million. Elon walked away with $22 million, his first real fortune. For most people, that would have been the end of the story. Early success, early retirement. But Elon was just getting started. He used the money to fund his next, even riskier venture. What's striking about the Zip 2 chapter isn't just the money or the exit, it's the pattern. Elon throws himself into a problem, works obsessively, ignores doubters, and fights for control. And even when things don't go his way, like being pushed aside as CEO, he doesn't quit. He learns, adapts, and moves on. Zip 2 taught him that vision matters, but execution matters more. That control over your company is crucial if you want to build something bold, and that the world doesn't reward good ideas unless you push them hard enough to break through. It also marked the beginning of Elon's rocky relationship with investors and corporate boards. He saw them as necessary evils, people who often lacked imagination and slowed down progress. That attitude would follow him into his next ventures, and sometimes cost him dearly. But there's another side too. Zip 2 gave Elon a taste of what was possible. It showed him that he could turn code and conviction into real-world impact. It also introduced him to the brutal reality of the startup world, where power shifts fast, egos clash, and survival depends on more than just intelligence. Most importantly, Zip2 was proof of concept, not just for a business model, but for Elon himself. It showed the world, and perhaps even Elon, that he wasn't just a dreamer. He could build, he could sell, and he could win. And with millions in the bank and a hunger for more, Elon Musk wasn't about to slow down. Elon Musk, Part 4. XCOM and the PayPal Wars. Fresh off the sale of Zip2, Elon Musk found himself with $22 million in his bank account at just 27 years old. For a brief moment, he considered buying a McLaren F1, and he did. But retirement? Not a chance. Instead, he dove headfirst into the next big idea, revolutionizing money itself. In 1999, banking was slow, outdated, and ripe for disruption. Elon founded X.com, an online financial services company with an ambitious goal to replace traditional banks entirely. It wasn't just about sending money online. Elon imagined a world where people managed all their finances digitally, checking, saving, investing, even insurance, all through a single platform. The idea was ahead of its time, and once again, Elon threw himself into the work obsessively. He surrounded himself with brilliant engineers, moved fast, and ignored conventional wisdom. X.com quickly attracted attention and competition. One rival startup, Confinity, had developed a product called PayPal. It focused solely on peer-to-peer payments and had started gaining traction, especially on eBay. While Elon wanted to build a digital banking empire, PayPal was laser-focused on making it easier to send money online. The two companies eventually merged in 2000, with Elon initially at the helm of the combined entity. But things didn't go smoothly. Elon insisted on using Microsoft-based infrastructure for the platform, which clashed with the company's existing Unix system. Engineers resisted. Tensions grew. While Elon was away on vacation, the board voted to replace him as CEO. Again, it was a brutal déjà vu. Elon had founded X.com, merged it, and lost control. But instead of leaving, he stayed on as the largest shareholder. And when the company eventually rebranded entirely as PayPal, Elon's vision was still baked into its DNA. Bold, fast-moving, disruptive. In 2002, PayPal was sold to eBay for $1.5 billion. Elon walked away with around $180 million after taxes. Once again, a massive win. But also another war story, another fight for control, another reminder that having the idea isn't enough. You also need to manage the people, the systems, the politics. The PayPal era revealed a lot about Elon's character. He was a visionary, no doubt, but also demanding, polarizing, and sometimes reckless. People either loved working with him or couldn't stand it. There was rarely an in-between. Interestingly, many of the people who built PayPal with Musk would go on to found companies like YouTube, LinkedIn, and Yelp. The media later dubbed them the PayPal Mafia, and Elon was its most famous and infamous member. X.com and PayPal marked another key turning point in Musk's life. He had now proven he could build and sell two successful tech companies. He had money, he had reputation, and most importantly, he had confidence that he could go even bigger. But what would he do next? Instead of retiring on a beach, Elon looked up, literally, to space. Elon Musk, Part 5, SpaceX, Dreaming of Mars. After the PayPal sale, most people in Elon Musk's position would have taken it easy. A mansion, a yacht, some angel investing, maybe a charity. But Elon had other plans, big ones. He wanted to colonize Mars. It sounds like science fiction. In fact, when Musk first shared the idea, many people laughed. But Elon wasn't joking. He believed humanity needed a backup plan, a way to survive in case Earth faced a catastrophe. And for him, Mars wasn't just a dream, it was a mission. In 2002, Musk founded Space Exploration Technologies Corp., better known as SpaceX. The goal? build affordable rockets, and make space travel possible for everyone. The timing couldn't have been worse or better. NASA was scaling back and private spaceflight was still unproven territory. Elon wanted to change that. He poured over $100 million of his own money into the company. He hired young, ambitious engineers and pushed them to their limits. SpaceX didn't look like a government contractor. It looked like a startup, with sleeping bags under desks and a fail-fast mentality. Their first rocket, Falcon 1, was small, relatively cheap, and designed to prove that a private company could put a satellite into orbit. But the first 3 launches failed. Explosions, crashes, software bugs, each one a painful blow. By 2008, SpaceX was on the brink of collapse. They had money left for just one more launch. If the 4th Falcon 1 failed, that was it. The dream would die. And then, against the odds, it worked. The 4th launch reached orbit. Cheers erupted in the control room. Elon cried. That success didn't just save SpaceX, it changed the course of his life. Soon after, NASA awarded SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract to resupply the International Space Station. It was a major vote of confidence and a lifeline for the company. Elon's gamble had paid off, but he wasn't done. Next came Falcon 9, a larger rocket capable of carrying heavier payloads. Then Dragon, a spacecraft to carry cargo. And eventually, people. And while other companies threw away their rockets after each launch, Elon insisted on making them reusable. Why throw away millions of dollars each time? It was a radical idea. People said it was impossible. But in 2015, SpaceX landed a Falcon 9 booster vertically for the first time. The world watched in awe. Rockets that returned and could fly again. It felt like the future had arrived. And always, behind it all, was Mars. Elon wasn't just building rockets to launch satellites or serve NASA. He was building the foundation for a multi-planetary civilization. In interviews, he spoke of terraforming Mars, building domes, and sending fleets of rockets. It sounded like sci-fi, but with Elon, sci-fi had a habit of becoming real. There were still setbacks, explosions, delays, and fierce critics. But SpaceX kept moving. Faster, cheaper, more ambitious. They broke records. They sent astronauts to the ISS. They launched Starlink, a network of internet satellites. And always, the red planet loomed on the horizon. By this point, Elon Musk wasn't just a tech billionaire. He was becoming something else, a symbol of what relentless vision, risk, and obsession could achieve. And this was only part of the story. Next up, electric cars. Because while Elon dreamed of Mars, he also had plans for Earth. Elon Musk Part 6, Tesla, driving the future after rockets. You'd think Elon Musk might slow down, but instead he stepped into another industry full of skeptics, automobiles. In 2004, Musk joined a small team of engineers with an idea: build an electric sports car. The company was called Tesla Motors, and back then, almost no one believed electric vehicles could be cool, fast, or practical. Gasoline was king. Electric cars? Most people pictured golf carts. But Musk saw something else, an opportunity to revolutionize not just cars, but energy itself. Tesla's first project was the Roadster, based on the chassis of a Lotus Elise. It was sleek, sporty, and, surprisingly, electric. But building it wasn't easy. Tesla faced constant delays, cost overruns, and technical hurdles. Musk, though not a founder, quickly became the face of the company, taking over as CEO and pushing for perfection. He wanted more than just a niche sports car. Elon envisioned a 3-step plan. Build an expensive, low-volume car, the Roadster. Use the profits to fund a mid-range car, the Model S. Use that to launch a mass-market, affordable EV, the Model 3. It was bold and extremely risky. But Elon had never played it safe. The Model S, released in 2012, changed the game. It wasn't just a good electric car. It was one of the best cars, period. Fast, luxurious, and tech-heavy, with a giant touchscreen dashboard and over-the-air software updates, It redefined what a car could be. Critics were stunned. So was the auto industry. Suddenly, legacy car makers were paying attention. But success didn't come easy. Tesla was burning through cash. Factories were under pressure. There were quality issues, missed deadlines, and fierce opposition from dealerships and unions. Musk was working insane hours, often sleeping at the factory. Then came the Model X, with its signature falcon wing doors, impressive, but plagued with reliability problems. Many thought Musk was stretching himself too thin. Still, the real test was the Model 3. This was Tesla's attempt at an affordable EV for the masses. It was crucial, not just for the company, but for Musk's entire vision of a sustainable future. The Model 3 rollout was chaotic. The production hell, as Elon called it, nearly broke the company. Robots failed. Assembly lines stalled. At one point, Musk even set up a new production line in a giant tent outside the main factory. Investors panicked. Short sellers bet heavily against Tesla. The media predicted collapse, but Musk, relentless as always, pushed through. Slowly, painfully, production ramped up. Deliveries climbed, and Tesla survived. In time, it thrived. The Model 3 became one of the best-selling EVs in the world. Tesla's stock soared. Musk became one of the richest people on the planet. But more importantly, Tesla changed the narrative. Electric cars weren't the future. They were the present, and it wasn't just cars. Musk saw Tesla as an energy company. With Powerwall batteries, solar roofs, and giant megapack storage systems, he aimed to transform how the world generates and stores energy. Along the way, he built a cult-like following. Tesla fans adored him. Critics accused him of overpromising and under-delivering, but love him or hate him, everyone paid attention. And then came the wildest Tesla yet, the Cybertruck. Unveiled in 2019 with a futuristic, angular design, it looked like something from a sci-fi film. The reveal became legendary, especially when its supposedly unbreakable glass shattered during a live demo. Elon laughed it off, and of course, hundreds of thousands of pre-orders poured in. Tesla wasn't just a car company anymore, it was a movement. And Musk was leading the charge. But as Tesla grew, so did the pressure. Could it maintain quality? Could it scale? Could Elon keep all his promises? And most of all, could he balance all of this while running other companies? Next, we dive into the chaos of Elon's personal life and the toll that genius often takes behind the scenes. Elon Musk, Part 7, Personal Life, Chaos, and Drama. Despite Elon Musk's reputation as a tech genius and innovator, his personal life has often been a whirlwind of chaos, intensity, and very public drama. As much as he pushes boundaries in business, he does the same in his relationships, and the consequences have often made headlines. His early romantic life began with Justine Wilson, a Canadian author whom he met while attending Queen's University. Their relationship, marked by ambition and tragedy, saw the birth of 6 children, though their first son, Nevada, tragically died of SIDS. The pain of that loss left an indelible mark on Musk. Their marriage later ended in divorce, but not before they had 5 more children, twins and triplets, through IVF. Soon after, Musk began an on-again, off-again relationship with British actress Tallulah Riley. They married, divorced, remarried, and divorced again. The back-and-forth nature of their relationship became fodder for tabloids and raised questions about Musk's emotional stability. He later admitted that he hated being alone and craved companionship, even amid the intense demands of his career. In 2018, Musk's relationship with musician Claire Boucher, known as Grimes, added another layer of unpredictability. Their pairing seemed unexpected. She, a rebellious art pop performer with anti-establishment flair. He, a billionaire industrialist. Yet their chemistry was real. They had 2 children together, XA12 and Exadark Sideral, names that sparked worldwide fascination and memes. His fatherhood journey, however, didn't stop there. In 2022, it was revealed that Musk had fathered twins with Shivan Zelis, a top Neuralink executive. The revelation again blurred the lines between Musk's personal and professional worlds, adding more complexity to an already unconventional family structure. Throughout these relationships, Musk's obsession with work remained a recurring issue. He often worked 80 to 100 hours a week, leaving little time for personal connection. Partners described him as intense, sometimes emotionally distant, and perpetually focused on his mission to save humanity. Musk himself admitted that his ambition often came at the cost of intimacy. Mental health and emotional turbulence have also shaped Musk's life. He has spoken about periods of deep depression and described his mind as a never-ending explosion of ideas, which he often struggled to control. Friends and partners noticed the toll this took, swings between intense enthusiasm and emotional withdrawal. The media, of course, has feasted on these moments. From his viral tweet about taking Tesla private at 420, a move some attributed to heartbreak, to bizarre headlines involving dramatic breakups and unexpected pregnancies. Musk's personal life became as much a spectacle as his business ventures. But there's a human layer behind the chaos. Musk's deep need for love, connection, and meaning often clashed with his overwhelming drive. He wasn't trying to live a soap opera. He was trying to do everything at once, be a father, a partner, and the architect of the future. His personal life, though chaotic, gives us a more complete picture of the man behind the machines. It's not just rockets, cars, and code. It's heartbreak, longing, mistakes, and attempts to balance the unbalanceable. So what do you think? Can someone like Musk ever truly find balance? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for the next episode. Elon Musk, Part 8, Twitter and X, Reinventing the Town Square. In late 2022, Elon Musk shocked the world by purchasing Twitter for $44 billion. It wasn't just a business deal, it was a cultural earthquake. Musk wasn't buying a company. He was buying what he saw as the modern town square. And true to form, he didn't waste time turning everything upside down. From day one, Musk made bold moves, firing top executives, dissolving the board, and bringing in a new leadership team. His goal? To reinvent Twitter as a bastion of free speech, where all voices could be heard, even controversial or banned ones. He rebranded Twitter to simply X, part of his long-standing fascination with the letter, dating back to X.com. The vision was to transform the platform into an everything app, a place where users could chat, bank, shop, and connect in ways that extended far beyond microblogging. But Musk's vision came with turbulence. Content moderation was slashed, which led to a surge in misinformation, harassment, and reinstated accounts of previously banned figures. Advertisers fled, worried about brand safety. Critics accused Musk of promoting chaos and endangering marginalized groups. Yet, many users celebrated the shakeup, feeling Twitter had become too politically biased or sanitized. Musk's approach, raw, reactive, and often done via his own tweets, kept Twitter/X in the headlines daily. Musk introduced paid verification, encouraging users to subscribe for a blue checkmark. It democratized the platform, but also led to impersonation chaos. Policy changes came fast and unpredictably, often reversing within days. He argued that a true town square had to allow dissent, even when it made people uncomfortable. But the cost of that philosophy was trust among investors, users, and advertisers alike. Still, Musk pushed forward. He envisioned X as a future hub of financial services, creator monetization, and encrypted messaging. Whether he succeeds remains to be seen, but one thing's certain: he's made Twitter impossible to ignore. Love him or hate him, Musk has reshaped the digital conversation. So, what's your take? Free speech hero or chaotic overlord? Drop your thoughts below and hit that subscribe button for more. Elon Musk. Part 9. Neuralink and the Boring Company. Experiments of the future. While rockets and electric cars capture headlines, some of Elon Musk's most intriguing ventures operate in the background, projects that seem more like sci-fi than business. Enter Neuralink and the Boring Company. Neuralink, launched in 2016, aims to develop brain-machine interfaces, tiny chips implanted in the brain to communicate directly with computers. The goal? Help people with neurological disorders, restore movement, and eventually enhance human cognition. Musk envisions a future where humans can merge with AI, avoiding the risk of becoming obsolete. The project has tested chips in animals, showing monkeys controlling cursors with their minds. But ethical concerns abound, and critics question the pace and transparency of trials. Despite hurdles, Neuralink received FDA approval for human trials in 2023, a huge step forward. For Musk, it's not just about curing disease, it's about leveling the playing field with artificial intelligence. Meanwhile, the Boring Company tackles a very different problem: traffic. Musk believes cities are suffocating under congestion. His solution? Underground tunnels for electric vehicles, what he calls loop systems. The company has built test tunnels in Las Vegas, ferrying passengers in Teslas through neon-lit tubes. It's futuristic, but critics call it a glorified subway with cars. Still, Musk argues it's cheaper, faster, and scalable compared to traditional transit. Both companies reflect Musk's core philosophy: aim big, accept risk, and challenge conventional thinking. They may seem like side quests, but they carry serious implications for the future of health, transportation, and human evolution. Would you implant a chip in your brain? Ride in an underground Tesla tunnel? Let's talk about it in the comments, and stay tuned for our final episode. Elon Musk, Part 10. Vision and Legacy. The man who can't stop. Elon Musk doesn't just build companies, he builds futures. Whether it's colonizing Mars, electrifying roads, merging minds with machines, or reinventing how we communicate, his drive is relentless. But what will his legacy be? To his supporters, he's a modern-day Edison or Da Vinci, a flawed genius dragging the world into the future, one impossible idea at a time. His companies don't just chase profits, they chase paradigms. Tesla forced legacy car makers to go electric. SpaceX made reusable rockets a reality. Neuralink and X show a man who won't stop pushing. To his critics, he's reckless, erratic, and ego-driven. His leadership style is intense, sometimes abrasive. Employees speak of burnout. His tweets have caused market swings. Some wonder if his empire can sustain his pace. But maybe that's the point. Musk never aimed to be comfortable. He aims to be consequential. He believes humanity must become multiplanetary to survive. He fears AI, but also wants us to merge with it. He jokes about memes while launching billion-dollar rockets. His contradictions make him fascinating. A man of science who courts chaos, a tech mogul who craves connection, a father of many who lives like a monk of innovation. What comes next? Starship launches to Mars? X turning into the world's digital brain? Another company we haven't imagined yet? Whatever it is, Musk will be at the center of it. For better or worse, he's already reshaped our world, and he's just getting started. If you've enjoyed this series, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's keep the conversation going.